It's episode 1271, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang. And joining me, no Jesse today, joining me from Nashville, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What up, though?
Just down the street there in Nashville, our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
And from LA, it's his first video podcast with us. It's Marty.
I'm so excited, guys. It feels good to be here. Cameron looks like he's on ESPN. Derek, he looks like he's in some really cool studio. You know, Emily, she's in a log cabin that Taylor Swift owns. And then I'm in an Afghanistan hostage video.
Yeah,
my little jail cell.
Hostel.
You do have a cool blue light. They gave you that.
If it wasn't for Derek, it was spun around. I didn't know it was supposed to hit the wall. I didn't even.
You're in those Japanese micro hotels. You're in like
yeah.
Like,
I'm actually in jail. You know how they have cell phones in jail? That's where I am.
Yeah.
What it is,
I did turn everything around for me. I mean, if people have watched the first 3 episodes, I was in front of a big TV, which is right there. And I just was like, I don't like how confined. I have this big room like Derek does. I have this big, long room. My desk is over there. There's shelves and aquariums. And there's this whole area over here that's like the podcast. And I was just like, I'm just going to flip it. So there you go. It's a little more behind the scenes.
It looks better.
It's good.
Now you can see my actual interests. There's a Relevant magazine with Jerry Lorenzo right there. Very cool. Charles Barkley. Going up against Horace Grant in the 90s.
I love that.
There's a signed Aaron Gordon winning the dunk competition right there. There's a band right there. That's Bastille. I'm not a huge
I was
Bastille
wondering if we were
fan.
going to get to any
I love
non-sports
Bastille.
things.
Okay, right there. There's a podcast fan back in like 2008, Nick Fruling up in Canada. We had like a rivalry going with Canadians, and he did a piece of art right there that says America, Canada's jorts. And he drew the continent.
I love that.
And America was wearing jorts. And then Florida, where Relevant's based, was the dangling participle, and he pixelated it. And he put Relevant Media Group on it. And so,
wow. That's pretty cool.
It's framed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Thanks,
I see what we
Emily.
had beef with the Canadians.
I
And
like that
Cameron
guy.
was ready for that one.
Where is he at? Like, where is he at? We need to go find that guy.
That's so funny.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Holy cow.
There you go.
Where's that guy at? We need to go find him. He's got it.
Yeah, I met him. I met him when I was up in Vancouver one time. I met him and his wife.
Did you
Lovely
fight him?
people. No, he's great. Our rivalry with Canadians was hilarious for about 5 years. I mean, I have a little Canadian flag. They just would send us Canadian snacks. It was really funny. So
I like that it's specifically Canadians, not like Canada in general, but like specifically the people of Canada.
This is Emily. That little pennant right there says it's a gator skull, and it says "Don't mess with Texas, but don't f with Florida." So there's that. And then up
And you
there,
know what? I'll agree to that.
And up there is a constitution. He just has a constitution.
no, up there.
in his office.
This is an original page of a Bible from the 1500s.
Wow.
It's a verse, specifically the book of Joshua or Jeremiah, sorry, and it is the John Roberts edition, the martyr. He's I'm a direct descendant of him. He was like one of the Christian martyrs under Bloody Mary, and he printed this Bible, made this Bible, and was spreading the Bible, and he got murdered by Bloody Mary because it was the Protestant Catholic war. And my dad acquired an original page and gifted it to me. And so look at that. This is me. So it's basketball, Bible, relevant jokes.
So I have a
go.
question. I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but did he get it on the Hobby Lobby black market?
No, he got it from a reputable antiquities dealer.
You can get whatever you need. Hobby Lobby is like this. They're like,
yeah, we got it right here. Oh,
It's
you want
scratched
some
off.
biblical antiquities?
I have a theory that Hobby Lobby destroyed Joann's Fabrics and all these other, like, they monopolized the market. And I have this theory. It's almost like they're connected to the mattress stores.
It's called free
Well,
market
I think
competition.
part of it is
play
also and I say this as someone who did visit Joann's on its last legs. I don't think we ever needed a Hobby Lobby and a Joann's and a Michael's.
Right.
And
Michael's,
there's so many stores that it's like, I would go to them and think, okay, I want this product. Let me go to another store exactly like it and see if the price is the same. I mean, I understand that that's literally the point of capitalism, but inevitably, one of them was always going to die. R.I.P. Joann's. I do miss you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Do you really?
is Michael still alive?
Over here it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
them.
I think they got a
And-
lot of Joann's merch.
And
yeah, they're
just to
doing
be-
like they're starting to sell stuff that's like kind of off kilter now. Like they're selling TVs and stuff. I'm like, how is that even? Like they're
Did
just
you
selling
say
extra
Michael's
stuff.
is selling TVs?
Yeah, like they sell like flat
bro?
screens.
They gotta make it in this economy,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. It's become like a Tuesday morning where you just like, oh, there's lawn furniture. Is this
Really?
Like,
Is it
fell off
is
the-
it
you
a
ever-
deep is
you
it
guys
a
ever
deep
have
discount?
Tuesday morning?
You
You
know
guys
that
have
stuff was
Tuesday
always
morning?
discounted.
Yeah, Tuesday morning, another one that can be added to that list. Though.
I think it's owned by the
RIP.
mob.
They're gone.
Like anytime you go is totally different stuff. You're like, hey, there's a fountain here that's made out of marble.
Oh, like
and
there
I'm
was a
just gonna buy
truck
it.
that got robbed, and that's now
Yeah,
our
yeah, yeah.
inventory.
That's the theory
Got it.
that I have about Tuesday morning because they don't have like they have. It's one of one. How is that even possible? You know, like one of
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
They robbed
Can I-
Hobby Lobby.
So now we're on a visual podcast, Marty. I can include the listeners in the journey of your facial hair. You have a
Yeah.
very robust mustache going on right now.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
almost looks
Yeah,
like a disguise. It's so pronounced.
Yeah. I really, as a kid, I had a beard when I was in like in middle school. It was bad, right? It's just the Italian.
No
just
way.
grew
Kid, I
out-
had a
yeah.
beard. Okay.
As a child, like I remember going into like 7th grade and the teacher was like, you need to shave your face. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It was really weird. So my facial hair, like I could shave this and then tomorrow it'll be back. It's just, there's no maintaining
the
it.
same
It's
way.
just pure.
That's great.
It's not Jesse's level. Jesse's level is intense. That is like real. Like
He's a
I-
3
maybe in
times a
couple
day
years I'll
shaver,
hit that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Real man.
I
Real man
noticed
beard.
John Mark McMillan, worship leader, friend of the show over the years. He posted last night on TikTok. He goes, I haven't seen my face in 20 years. I wonder what it looks like. And he took the video. He went to the store, bought the shaving cream and the razor, and he comes back and shaves himself. And we don't see what it looks like. He's going around and then he like shows his face to his wife and his kid and his friends, his bandmates. And they're all like freaking out, laughing at him in his face. And then we see it at the very last second. And he's got your look. He's got a big old mustache and no
Yeah.
beard. He's like clean.
I
And
love those
it
videos.
is funny.
By the way.
He had no chin. Have you seen the Jalen
Yeah.
Brown
That's
joke?
always
Like the
what
big
happens.
beard,
The chin is
there's
gone.
no chin. Yeah.
It goes from lip
Derek
to
is
like
so stressed.
chest. It just goes right here. But the funny thing is, the other day, dead serious, the other day, I went on YouTube and I searched dad's shaving face ruining the family. And a bunch of videos came up because you ever see him like walk, like a dad shaves his face, he walks to the, they all start crying. They're all like visibly upset.
Did your dad do that to you? My dad did that to me.
Never had a beard. My dad was clean shaven. Like he can grow a beard, but he's clean shaven. He's old school.
My dad in the 80s and 90s had an iconic mustache, like a Tom Selleck mustache.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm trying to go for.
Never saw him with anything else. And then one day, randomly on a family vacation, we're in Gatlinburg, Tennessee at a motel. And we were like 9 a.m. We got to meet outside. It was me and my little brother. And my parents had a room next to us. And we meet out at the car. And my dad walks out clean shaven. And for the first time in his life, he was all upper lip. It was like all I could see was upper lip. It was just like the most jarring thing. I didn't cry, but it was just like I lost respect.
You start treating him differently.
Yeah.
You know, like you're just like, you're my dad. You're like the twin.
You want to know what's disheartening to me? Is that I shaved the hair off of my lip and no one said a word.
Wow.
Not a word.
Yeah.
Like not a word.
It was a little whisper of hair. It was a little whisper.
Hair deficiency, they call it.
Like this, like I'm really kind of mad right now.
Well, we're your friends that we don't call out when you had this little wispy thing on your lip. Now it's like, all right, you know, we
one's
don't
like
wanna
really
call it out.
long. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that happened.
I'm envious.
I think that happened to my dad because my mom does not like facial hair, and my dad cannot grow facial hair, which is one of the many reasons why I do think they're soulmates. But he can kind of grow some wispies, and so when she was pregnant with me, she let him like grow his facial hair out. I mean, it was the thinnest, no offense, Dad, saddest mustache I've ever seen on a man. And I think my brother was like about 1.5 years old, and I think he was expecting, like after he shaved it, that my brother would like not know who his dad is. No reaction whatsoever. Absolutely no one reacted because he looks exactly the same, just with a little bit of like
Derek,
a cleaner.
that's you, buddy. Sorry, man.
Sorry, Derek.
You and my dad, y'all can lament about it together.
Take the knife and just write.
You know,
it.
I got a
Just
friend
put
of mine
right
who got
here.
a tattoo of a hairline, and I know that's a new thing that everyone's doing.
Yeah,
like,
that's
he got
a
a
new
tattoo.
thing. I thought about doing it myself.
Were you seriously?
No, I didn't.
Just when you go to
Okay.
Turkey, just get.
I
the
thought
facial
about
hair.
getting a unit, but actually, like either that or going to Turkey with my uncle. My uncle,
Is he going to Turkey?
I'm not gonna. You know what? I probably shouldn't say that, so I'm not gonna show a picture of my uncle. So, but I have an uncle that
He's going to Turkey.
he has a brand
He got
new
the turkey
hairline.
special.
So yeah, he has
I
a
love
brand new
that.
hairline. So we're not gonna tell you which uncle it is.
Very
but,
cool. Thanksgiving
I
special.
have a feeling I know which one. I do think it's funny that now that everybody is joining us for video, we're just talking about our appearances now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
Sorry.
oh, Derek, your lip is different. Yeah. We have a great show coming up. We have no guests. We're still getting used to that. If you missed the guest thing, guess what we just released? We just released a special edition of the podcast. We called it the Impact Conversation Series. We're doing 6 episodes throughout the fall. The first episode just went up a few days ago with Jimmy Darts, the viral generosity guy who like walks up to people in the laundromat, at the grocery store, and he's like, hey, can you spare 25 cents? Or can you help me buy this for my kid? And when somebody shows him kindness, even though if they're struggling or whatever, sacrificial kindness, he was like, I actually don't need it. I want to bless you. And then
That's so cool.
Gets to know their story. And then inevitably the person probably just lost their job or was struggling or couldn't make rent or their car broke down, and they helped him anyway. And then he rallies his listeners or his followers, and they will buy them a house or a car, or it's insane.
He's the #1 creator for funds for other people on GoFundMe. Like he makes more than anyone, which is awesome.
And so Jimmy Darts, so we've always been inspired by
Shout
his videos.
out Jimmy Darts.
He sounds like a mafia guy, right? Jimmy Darts.
Yeah, Jimmy Darts. He's the
sounds like a mobster.
Yeah, like he knows everyone. Yeah, he makes things happen.
He's 29 years old. And so Emily interviewed him and got to know his story. He's been doing this since he was 10. Because like, what makes you do this? He tells the story in our conversation where when it's Christmas, when he was 10 years old, his parents gave him $200 cash, and he was so excited that his Christmas present was $200. But his parents said, you have to go give 100 of this to somebody who needs it. And he said, I don't remember what I did with my $100, but I remember the person and the act of giving and how that affected him and impacted the person. And he's like, I've been doing this my whole life with what I had, whether it's just a few bucks or I would go and volunteer. I would go and like do things. I've been doing this. And he's like, in the last 5 years, I just decided to start encouraging other people to show acts of kindness. And so he said a lot of influencers, and I really respect this about him, I didn't know what he looked like for years. I had no clue. I knew his voice, but I did not know, because he doesn't make it about him. He makes it about the person's story. And so now we're getting to know him a little bit more. You'll see him kind of, like somebody else will be filming some of it. He always gets their permission. It's not exploitive. It's so moving. And I'm going, this guy radiates a love and a kindness that is so special. And then you start to hear he's talking about God loves you and whatever. And you're going, oh, I think this guy's a Christian. And so Emily reached out to him. If you listen to this 30-minute conversation we have with him, we just posted it on this channel. This guy wouldn't stop talking about Jesus. And his entire thing is, I just want to show people the love of God, the way God's shown me on like love without any conditions. It's just like,
he's like Bob Goff, right?
I like old Jimmy.
Dude, Jimmy
like
Darts, man, he's my hero.
Yeah.
He's 20 years younger.
like
young Bob Goff over here.
Yeah.
Just
man.
What's funny is like when I think about a believer, I think about Christian, that's the type of person I think about, right? The person that, wants to serve other people, never the person who's preaching or like making it like, I don't really think of pastors sometimes when I think of a believer, I think of someone like him who has no one, like he would do it if there was cameras on or not. And that is
right.
who
It's
just generosity
I loved about
pours
it.
out of him. Yeah, I love that.
Learning in that conversation, he's been doing it without cameras for 15 years. And then
So
he just
good.
was like, maybe I can encourage people to just show each other kindness. That was his only motive, right? Emily?
Actually, he said that like when he had like already like helped someone out, and then as he was walking away, he like felt God prompt him like, hey, you should go ask him if it's okay to like share his story online with people. And like, so even that, like, just from the get-go, all of this was like to honor God and like to encourage people to show the love of God.
And he was like, and what's cool is like, he was able to give that person $100 or $500. But if he shares the person's story with their permission, the community of people can give them, he'll go back the next day, because he'll find somebody on the side of the road just kind of like trying to make ends meet, or they're trying to sell something or whatever. It's like, and then he'll get to know their story, and my son needs surgery and I'm just trying to whatever. And he'll just share the story, and he'll go back the next day and he's like, the community, my friends online, have raised $180,000 for your family, for your son to get that surgery. And like, it's just like, it's mind-blowing stuff. It's just,
he humanizes people. And, you know, I think we drive by people. I think the conversation is like, we drive by people and we're like, this guy's a bum. And then this guy walks up and he literally is the manifestation of Jesus, like humanizing people, not generalizing, like, hey, he's a, you know, I heard a quote the other day where it said 60% of homelessness in California is foster children, like that just got edged out of the system. So like when you humanize people, that really does change a lot of how we think about homelessness and people in need. I mean, literally the Bible is all about helping people in need. And that in our culture right now is like, don't do that. That's looked down upon, you know? It's a crazy.
Even to add on to that point that like he does help people, yes, who are homeless. He also just goes up to people who like are in the grocery store and just,
or
you know,
Walmart
are like,
or the laundromat
or Walmart or whatever. And like, because
Mhm.
I think about the statistic that it's like, I think like a majority of Americans are only like a few paychecks away from being homeless. Like
$700.
yeah, it's like we are all pretty much living paycheck to paycheck, just trying to make it. So it's like in a and like something that he and I talked about was a lot of us are in need, but we don't necessarily want to ask for it because we think someone's got it worse than I do. And so when we can have just a little, like we want help, but we don't want to ask for it because we don't think we need it. And so him getting to meet people and like it just address a need, maybe not a like maybe more of a want than a need, but still a need. I don't know. Like it just I love that. All of it. So
and the little twist that he does that I love so much is that he acts like he needs help. And so he'll go up to somebody that I think he could just tell maybe is right on that line that you're talking about, or they're struggling or something, they're having a rough day. And he'll go up to them and say, he'll have a box of cereal in his hands, like, could you spare $1 for me to be able, like, you know, whatever. And like, he looks like a typical 29-year-old white kid, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't look like he's struggling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he'll go up and ask, do you mind? Could you give me $1? Could you give me 50 cents so I could do X, Y, Z? And the person will sacrificially give them, yeah, I can. And when they show him that sacrificial kindness, he goes, actually, I wanted to bless you. I was just looking for somebody who would show me kindness. And so what I love is it highlights these people who don't have much, but they give and they show kindness to Jimmy first.
Wow.
And then he's able to like abundantly bless them over and over above that. It's so beautiful. And it isn't exploitive at all. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. His whole message is like, you don't have to give $500. If you can, that's great. But like, maybe it is just handing a water bottle to someone who looks thirsty. That like
pick up their lunch at McDonald's. They're the person behind you. That kind of
like
thing.
That's the kind, like kindness is compounding and we need to just bring more of
I
it.
would love to shoot like a video where you walk up to somebody and you're like, hey, can I have this? And they're like, no. And then you get a person behind them and then they're like, hey, can I have? He's like, yeah. And they're like, here's 100,000. And the person who said no is like, wait a second. Like I would love to do like a video, like the Relevant on the Street podcast.
You're mean.
Where it's like, hey, can I have $1?
And that's why Jimmy is doing this and not.
Yeah, not you.
Yeah. I want to just, the guy I know, the person who's getting the $1 or gives me $1, I know that person.
You want to highlight the jerks.
Give it
just
to
tell
me,
the jerk stories.
I love that. Yeah. Hey, sorry,
enjoy
man.
Enjoy this L, my boy.
And you want to shame people into kindness.
Enjoy this L, my boy.
Shame people into being generous. That's the Marty way.
That is the American way right there. We're gonna shame you to do the right thing.
Here's $10,000, and the guy's like looking behind him, like, wait, what? And I'm like, you lost, and like you win.
I love it. All right. Well, so the new format of the show is we got Relevant Buzz coming up, then we got Slices, and at the end of the show, we have Ask the Cast. So stay tuned. Right after this quick break, we've got Relevant Buzz. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
Okay. First thing I would like to do is just pull up an image of someone. For the listeners at home, just imagine a very white man, if you will.
Imagine a very white man.
Just imagine a very white
This
man.
is almost like an AI. If you typed into AI, give me a white guy.
A white man.
Yeah.
That's what's coming up. Okay, so we're looking at this man. If you had to guess, this man is going to be playing a real life historical figure. Who do you guys think he's playing?
Some European settler.
Lord of the Rings
Viking.
reboot.
Yeah,
Lord of
some
the
white
Rings reboot.
Viking.
guy.
Okay.
Switzerland.
All
The guy who found Switzerland.
All great options. Unfortunately, Mel Gibson doesn't seem to have the same vision as y'all because this is who he has cast as Jesus in the upcoming resurrection of the Christ.
There you go. Jim Caviezel is out. He has.
Why did Jim leave?
Because he's 83 years old. They can't de-age him. It's too expensive. 57.
Yes, the reason he was 57, they were going to have to digitally de-age him, which we have made jokes about for a very long time. So I'd like to think we played a part in the recasting role. But they decided it was going to be...
Shame.
We shamed him out of the role. It was going to be too expensive to digitally de-age, and so they decided they would just recast him with this Finnish actor.
32. He's Finnish.
Well,
okay.
I mean, this is going to be frustrating for some of y'all, but most white people think Jesus is white.
It's just shocking because in a world we have The Chosen now, where we have a show that is very loved.
The casting has gotten better in the last 10 years of biblical stuff. At least they have olive skin. Whether they're,
I was gonna say I ain't no hater, but the Chosen is if we got the graph,
let's get a Puerto Rican guy.
They a little closer to what, but
No, they're casting people that are either Latin or Middle Eastern. I mean, they really are.
Yeah, I rock with it. Hey, I'm saying, I'm just like, I think but with Mel Gibson though, we've heard what Mel Gibson thinks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's it's not. That's the point I'm trying to get to. Is we kind of heard Mel. This is not Lethal Weapon Mel.
I think I'm just surprised that studios didn't step in and say hey, this is just not going to work anymore. This was fine in 2004.
I think he's financing the whole thing. This is his passion.
This is his thing
to do. Yeah.
This is his
Don't forget,
thing.
they're all speaking English in the film, so
guys, this is the Manosphere Jesus movie.
Yeah,
that's what this is. It's the Manosphere Jesus movie.
I love Hollywood when they're hey, this is how Hollywood works. So hey, these guys are from. These guys are Romans, so they're gonna talk with a British accent. That makes sense.
Right.
That's Hollywood. So it's just one of those things where no matter what, probably Mary is gonna come out and she's gonna have an Irish accent. That's just
we know who Mary is too. Mary got recast as well, right? Mary Magdalene.
Wow.
Emily?
Yeah, Monica Bellucci also was not going to be digitally de-aged, and so they have a new actress whose name I don't know how to pronounce. Mariella. I believe is her name.
Yeah. So,
but she's an unknown actress, and so, but she at least looks Italian. I'll give her that.
We posted this on Instagram, and the comments were fairly brutal. That they decast a white guy to get an even whiter guy to play the Middle Eastern, the Jewish carpenter role. But somebody said Mel Gibson read the scripture that Jesus said, "It is finished," and thought it said, "It is Finnish." And he cast a Finnish guy. Dude, they're roasting him in our comments. The relevant audience is having fun with that one.
Yeah, everyone's upset about this. I will say we also had a Jim Caviezel fan in our comments who was really upset about it.
Really upset.
Jim Caviezel fan 479.
The account name. Yes,
that's the account
name was literally
James
James Caviezel Fangirl. James Caviezel Fangirl was calling Relevant out for spreading fake news because we didn't talk to Mel Gibson directly. We were reporting, Variety and all the trade reports that had sourced it. And so we were spreading fake news. And I replied as Relevant, I go, just because it's news you don't like doesn't mean it's fake, sorry. But, and she goes, shit. And then she was like, yeah, well, you're just causing confusion. And I have confirmed that is unfortunately true. And I go, oh, great. So you talked to Mel Gibson directly?
Yeah.
I literally said that to her. So. And then she deleted her comment and went away. So anyway.
Of course she did.
My favorite thing to do is, as Relevant, call out stupidity in our comments. And then the person, sometimes they double down, but a lot of times they'll just delete their comment and go away. That's my favorite.
Also,
anyway.
What's Jim Caviezel been in besides the Jesus movie? The Last Passion of Christ. Is he in other stuff?
Yeah.
He did a movie, The Sound of Freedom, that was big 2 years ago.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It was like a Christian movie.
Yeah, okay. That is pretty much all I can think
of.
What's
that brand? What's the brand of Christian movie that I always see? Actually, they have billboards out here in California, but there's a brand name for these Christian movie. Angel. That's
Angel Wonder. Yeah. All right. What else do you
have? Moving on, a new report came out this week that about half the internet's content has been generated by AI. And that's not hyperbole. I know, Derek, you've been saying this for years, right?
The dark internet theory. Derek's all about it.
Dead internet theory.
Dead internet theory. Well, listen, it's not just a theory anymore. You have receipts now to back up what you've been saying.
They literally have found that half of the content on the internet is AI generated content. This is what, in 2 years? Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
This is according to research from an SEO firm called Graphite. They found that 52% of newly published articles on the internet as of May 2025 have been generated by AI.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. So when Sora 2 dropped, like the internet already, like AI was already like insanity. Like it was crazy. I even messed around with it. Y'all know me. I'm the tech guy. I mess around with it. Sora 2 is like high level graphics with very minimal effort. I followed this one person, and I kid you not, they dropped like 11 to 12 back-to-back Sora reels in a day. And I just was like, shoot me. Like and it's like, so in my mind, if that's one person, I just can only imagine the influx of, because Sora is unlimited and it's free. So like I could just imagine how many, like right now, like it's just gonna get worse. That's what I'm saying.
Well, now Sora
gonna
3 just came out, and they added the ability to do celebrity deepfakes. So like Jake Paul is a investor in Sora, and he gave his name, image, and likeness to them. And that's why about 2 weeks ago there was like all these like Jake Paul videos going around of like him as a celebrity pastor and him as a whatever. It was because he's involved with Sora 3. The Sora 3 stuff is mind-numbing. But both Meta, so IG and Facebook, and ChatGPT have both launched social media apps that are 100% AI content. And I don't understand what the appeal of that is. Like why I would want to watch a stream of fake clippy stuff. I don't get it, but it's the future.
I saw a lady. You remember in the 2020, like when there was a guy who drank cranberry juice and he's a skateboard, he's drinking it. And he's so I was trying to find it here. I saw a lady.
He healed America.
Yeah. My reels were healing. I saw a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whatever. She was saying that this is the problem with AI. Like we see this guy and we're like, this is a very cool scene. Like it makes sense. It's beautiful. But if you see this in AI, you're just gonna be like, who cares? But when you humanize something, like the difference of that, she has a whole study about, like the idea of being human is enough to look at versus AI. We're like, who cares? Like, it doesn't really matter. There's no, like, same thing with movies. Like, are we going to be invested in these movies that really have no characters or all computer? There's nothing there, and it's a story that matters. And so she was talking about the difference of like AI, our brains just don't care about it. We just overlook it a lot. It's funny to say, and then it's like you move on. It's not real.
The weird thing we're noticing too, is aside from just AI generated content taking up half the web, I'm noticing, because I'm in our comments all the time, I'm noticing AI social media accounts randomly commenting.
Bots are crazy now.
Dude, not just crazy. Like over on threads and stuff, it's like insane. But I'm talking about on relevance posts, I will see. Now, IG does a good job of like either hiding it or pushing it at the bottom. But like there will be 3 or 4 comments that are saying almost identical phrasing. Yeah. And it's just like, what is the point of this? Why is this bot posting on our thing? It makes no sense. I don't understand.
I always see Christian rappers with those bots under their
Well,
accounts.
it's hard because I mean, I've heard like people would buy bots to get like more engagement or whatever on their posts, and to an extent, I get that. Yeah, you make it want to look like that.
Like social proof, like it looks like I'm exploding because I bought all this stuff. It happens in music; they buy listens all the time.
Right? So but like I will say definitively, Relevant is not buying that, and so I don't understand why these bots are commenting on stuff. Because
why are they going rogue and coming over to our comments? Like,
I have a conspiracy theory.
Jim Caviezel fan.
Okay.
I have a conspiracy theory.
The Jim Caviezel fan was a bot.
That's probably a bot. Jim Caviezel bot.
Because that doesn't exist.
Well, I was thinking it was actually Jim Caviezel. I thought it was Jim Caviezel.
It's a real version of him.
That makes more sense.
So let's think about this. Like, bandwidth on a social platform is finite. It's not unlimited. It's just unlimited to us, but it is finite because it's based in servers. And a lot of these social media platforms, they make money off of advertising. And what you're paying for with advertising is supply and demand. So in my mind, if I was a social media platform, what if I just allowed a certain amount of bots to take up space, create a whole bunch of different content
to show page views, right?
Page views, all of this bandwidth, right? And then now the person that's buying this advertising, like they're paying a higher premium because there's all of this noise and junk that's on the platforms.
So you're paying for, like, if half of the exposure, quote unquote, is AI or bot or generated, and it's not real humans. So you're saying I pay $10,000 for that ad package, but only half of the people who saw the ad package were human.
Oh, actually human. I could drive the price up of advertising by having just this platform that's littered with bots and things.
I agree with you. It's a short term. It's a short term play though, because advertisers will look at the ROI on the other side of it and go, "We're not getting the click through rates. We're not getting the purchases because the bots aren't going to buy." Right. So then they're just going to take their money off of social media and find another way to advertise.
But that's the question. What else do you put your money into? Because
RelevantMagazine.com, duh.
Right. But I'm saying for the most part, the average person is like television. They're not buying television ads.
Right.
They're not buying a lot of radio ads. You know what I mean? Honestly, you just brought up a point. A podcast ad, at least you know, okay, they talk about the very thing that I care about. I know that it's a real person talking with real people listening, right? That's different. But, you know, I don't know. Like
quantifiably, podcasting is a good, because it's direct insertion plays. So for us, back in the day, we've been doing this 20 years. Back in the day, you would just like put an ad in an episode, and that episode could explode or it could have no listens. The person paid the same rate regardless. But now we do dynamic insertions. So like there's an ad spot, just like YouTube does. You put a spot in your podcast and there's a play because a real human got to 30 minutes in and heard that ad, and there's a real interaction. And so it's a guaranteed interaction with a real listener. So I agree that podcasting and YouTube, I would say probably too, is a good advertising option if social media gets too cluttered with this stuff, you know? So if you want to learn more, relevantmediakit.com, you can get our latest rates and packages.
That's a good plug.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
All right, moving on to the very last thing I do want to talk about. Honestly, it's mostly for me, but it is a good message for everyone to hear. Miley Cyrus was recently interviewed on CBS Sunday Morning, and she opened up actually about the impact that sobriety has had in her life. And I have never really heard anyone talk about the benefits of sobriety like the way she had. So I just want to play this clip so you guys can hear what she said.
Well, I like showing up 100% of the time. I love that if anything comes in, an opportunity, I can say yes, knowing that I'm going to be ready. I don't have to get ready. The hardest part about balancing, you know, any sort of substance use or drinking when you want to do what I do is you're going, okay, well, now I have to get sober for this thing because I want to show up my best. And now I get to trim out so much of the preparation of getting yourself into the right place mentally and physically. I'm just always ready. That's my favorite part about sobriety is being 100% of the time.
That's good.
Good for her. That's cool.
And I assume you guys have not followed her life as closely as I have. But
I know the Wrecking Ball era, MTV Video Music Awards.
Sure,
I know that. And that's about
so
it.
I stopped following, or I stopped caring about what she was doing after she used hip hop to get popular and then said hip hop sucks.
And that's valid.
We were pretty much just like, I couldn't care less, but I'm glad that a human is getting sober.
Yes, and that's a valid argument.
And
around
she
that
was not sober in the era that you're talking about, Derek. I mean, you know, so like,
she was definitely not. Like, I mean, I can recall specific like performances and interviews where I remember watching her thinking, "Oh, you're definitely on something right now." Like, it was very obvious. And so, like, to see her talk about not only getting sober but also just how that's changed her mind, it's a good reminder that maybe we should consider sobriety. That's all I'm saying.
I like it.
There you go. All right. Well, that'll do it for Relevant Buzz. Make sure to check out those stories and a lot more at the intersection of faith and culture over at relevantmagazine.com and on our socials. If you're a real human, follow us on Instagram and all the other places.
I'll take a bot follow.
We're talking to you, Jim Caviezel, fan, God's girl, 79. Yeah, God's fan.
I think it was Fangirl 4. 1, 2, 3 were taken.
And it wasn't Jim. It was James Caviezel Fangirl 4.
Yeah. It was James Caviezel. That's why I was like, this has to be the real Jim Caviezel.
She's born in April, so like the 4 makes sense. I don't know.
She's the 4th bot that they signed up for.
Yeah.
All right. Stay tuned after this quick break. It'll be Slices. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
All right, let's see. Where do we start? What do you have, Derek?
All right, let me ask y'all, how much do you think a ticket of going 17 miles per hour is worth? Just in general.
17
just
over?
Over 17 miles per hour over the speed limit. So the speed, how much do you think that's worth?
Not
That's
speaking
a lot.
of personal experience,
lot,
but I think it's like 120 in Texas.
Is it?
In certain parts of Texas?
Is it? What's the biggest ticket y'all have ever gotten? Not to derail your thing.
I got a $300 ticket in Virginia.
116 miles per hour on a 70.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Boy,
okay.
what?
Per hour.
What
I was like,
how are you?
Where were you going?
Going home at like 2 a.m. at night.
Yeah,
I was going
brother,
home.
you should have gotten a ticket. I'm telling you that.
No,
right
I
now.
got it, and he was like, "You're lucky. I'm not even taking your license right now." And I remember
I've gotten one of those.
Thank God. I think he saw like a Bible in the passenger seat, and he was like, "If you could read me Psalms 91, I will." Because I just came back from church. I just got saved, so like I read it, and then he was like, "All right." He still gave me a ticket, but it wasn't like he.
How
cut
much
some
was the
time
ticket?
Off. No, it was like 500. It was bad. It was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I went to like Ticket Clinic and they handled it all. So,
Marty, you and I have had the same life because I was 17 and my parents were out of town and my dad had just got a new Mercedes and he left the keys at the house. And so I was like, let's just see what this Mercedes is going to do. So I drove it to youth group and after youth group, brand new Mercedes, new car smell. Who wants to ride to Burger King with me? Because we all went to Burger King after youth group.
Yeah.
And so we're going down this stretch of road that goes right by my neighborhood actually. And it's a 2-lane road, 45. And I was just curious what this Mercedes could do because the speedometer said 150. I don't believe it.
Let's see.
Punched it. And I flew past my neighborhood where a cop was parked. And my neighborhood interest. Anyway,
you felt sick.
It took about 2 miles for him to catch up to me down at the red light, pulls me over. He clocked me going 104 and a 45. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We had just left youth group. I was playing The Far Side. And the album and the Please Don't Pull Me Over, Mr. Officer song was on. So I turned on worship music. I turned on the Christian station and all the good Christian kids were like, had to get out of the car and like whatever. He said, Florida law is if you're going double the speed limit, I have to arrest you. My parents were out of town. I was 17 and I told him that and I wasn't lying. And I was like, we just came from church. Blah, blah, blah. And he had mercy on me. And I was just
got swept up in the worship.
He gave me a ticket for going 89 and a 45. So I wasn't double, right? It was $650. The next day, my mom calls, how is everything? I said, I got a ticket last night. She didn't ask anything. She goes, you're going to pay it. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And it never came up again.
You're so
I went
lucky.
to traffic school and I worked my butt off and I paid off that ticket. They have, to this day, they don't listen to this podcast. To this day, they have no idea that happened. So
that's so good.
See, I did not get that lucky.
I've
been pulled over and I think one time it wasn't an excuse.
Derek's so mad right now. He's like, that is white privilege. Like right there.
Well, no, okay.
Look, I ain't gonna say nothing. I just was like, just as a black man, I'm thinking to myself like, oh my goodness, I'm lucky.
I'm not proud of it.
I've
had 3 tickets. I should have had more, but oh my gosh. I did get pulled over one time speeding on my way back from Lubbock. It was with my brother and sister-in-law, and it was on Father's Day. And we got pulled over, and absolutely I was speeding. And I tried to use the excuse of like, well, it's Father's Day. I'm trying to get home to see my dad, whatever, which was true, but like not entirely true. And he immediately goes, well, I think he'd rather have you alive than dead.
Oh,
like,
you should have said my father passed away.
Need y'all to know the drive from Lubbock to Dallas, absolutely nothing. It was me and the cop on the road the whole time. No one else was there. So I was not going to hit anything, but
yeah,
still very.
My wife was literally driving. A person cut her off and she swerved to avoid the person that was cutting her off, ran into an embankment of dirt on the side of the road, broke her back. The guy was mad. He was upset that he was like, I'm sorry I caused this. It was all that. And the police in Lebanon, Tennessee didn't give that guy anything and gave my wife a ticket for hitting dirt. Like, it's just like, so I'm sitting here like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I wish I could get that. But anyway, we gonna go to Switzerland. Because it could be way worse because in Switzerland, in I guess Vaud Canton, tickets are based on your income. And this guy was going 17 miles per hour, and he's one of the richest men in France. And he has a $110,000 ticket.
Oh my goodness.
Holy cow.
We're going
So your
17
tickets are
over.
For 17 miles per hour over.
Ticket clinic is $200, brother. You don't have to pay for it.
It ain't not in Switzerland.
You know
There's
what?
No
Yeah.
ticket,
Shout
there's
out
no
America.
Ticket.
Shout out America for that
for
one.
the
I'll give us
legal
that.
system.
Capitalism worked this time because it's just like 100 and listen, that's
insane.
not even the craziest one. The highest one they've had so far in 2010, a millionaire Ferrari driver got a ticket equal to about $290,000.
That's insane.
Okay, so I'm never driving in Switzerland. Actually, I guess
so. If you're in Switzerland and you got money,
they're all rich over there. They're good.
it's time to drive the speed limit. That's all I'm saying.
Or drive a beater because those cops are looking for the flashy cars. You know.
Well, so this wasn't even a cop. It was like an automatic.
Oh,
like one of the automatic lights. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even a cop. It's like the automatic light. So it's like
Big Brother.
And so they got him, and then they're like, "Oh, this guy is lit. Like he's like one of the richest people in France." So they're like, "Yeah, give it. We need 90,000 Swiss francs, which equals to about $110,000.
That's insane.
So we're 17 miles per hour over.
When you first asked about a ticket, I thought you were going to bring the item that happened. I think it was in Phoenix this week or Scottsdale or somewhere over there, where a Waymo, one of those
That's
Waymo
me. Yeah,
cars.
I got that one. Yeah.
Oh, you got that one?
Yeah, I got that one.
Then I won't take your thunder. You can tell the story.
Yeah.
But apparently it's a traffic story day. Marty, tell us the story.
Yeah, well, actually, before I even jump into this news article about a Waymo car, which is essentially a car that has no driver, it's a computer. It's almost like the Tesla system where it
I
can
just
see
saw
the road.
one in my neighborhood. It was crazy.
So
Yeah,
they
they call it
here.
the Waymo.
Okay.
Yeah, it drives itself, self-driving car. So I was in Vegas earlier this year at a show. I'm at the MGM Grand, and we got one of these cool, Waymo. Like they're waiting in front of the hotel. So I was like, cool, let's go. So me and my buddy Al, we jump in the car, and as we're about to make a right, it's making a right, waiting for traffic. Someone runs into us. So the car stops. It's like flashing red. Like it goes into like emergency mode. And so I just got out of the car and then called an Uber and then left. Like I just left the scene of the crime, the whole thing. But that did happen. It was a love tap. It was a love tap. The guy hit us. We were hit the driver's door, and we just waited for like 10 minutes. No police came. So we were like 15 minutes, whatever. And we were right in front of our hotel. So I was like, I'm just gonna call an Uber. We jumped in. But that did happen to me, and I always wondered who's responsible, right? So here's the story right now. In Northern California, a driverless Waymo taxi was pulled over by the police by making an illegal U-turn, right?
Right.
Police officer pulls him over. Where's the guy? He's not even in the car. So a lot of the conversation right now is what happens when a self-driving car breaks the law. I'm one of those guys at night too, where I love to watch YouTube, like cops arresting and tasing people. I don't know if anybody likes in Florida, we could, they get the access to the footage and it's amazing. So actually recently there was
I'm a sovereign
2
citizen.
days ago. Yeah, I love the sovereign. You can't move me. I'm a sovereign citizen. I'm traveling.
I'm a passenger.
Yeah.
I'm a traveler. I'm a traveler.
Yeah.
I don't
travels
have to have
more
a license.
Travels more
This
than
did
LeBron.
not end well. Yeah.
Yeah. So the funny part about that is that actually on the video I was watching, the gentleman was like, the GPS told me to make a left here. And the officer was like, it doesn't matter. The signs matter. So it's a funny thought to think like, hey, you can't really blame electronics for getting a ticket. But
didn't it turn out that with that story, they couldn't ticket the car because they can't ticket a robot. That's what I read.
Well,
that
the issue right now is that they're trying to figure out who they're working with the police department. They gave all the data to show like, hey, this is why I did an illegal U-turn. But they don't know still who to hold responsible because it's
for it, right?
AI behind the wheel. So
right.
Yeah, experts are saying right now in the case that there's major legal and regulatory gaps. Most traffic laws still assume a human is in control. And for now, this marks the first known instance where an autonomous vehicle is committing a ticketable offense. So what I would say is the next time you get a ticket, just jump in the back seat and say it's a Waymo car, and you might be able to get away with it.
I have the first ever Nissan Rogue Waymo self-driving car.
I got the first Altima 98 Waymo.
So shouldn't they hold Waymo, the company who created the AI, responsible? Like, why can't they hold them?
Well, I
Why
think
can't
you were
they
saying
ticket
like
them?
they provided the information of like, here's
Yeah,
what we've
all the
trained it on.
logs.
This is just
All
like
right,
the office.
Emily, we only have a few minutes, but what's your slice?
Yeah, I saw this video going around this week. I've seen a lot of people actually share it. I know Forrest Frank was one of them. But given it's Halloween, thought it might be interesting to bring up this lively
Halloween,
discussion on the podcast.
This comes out on Tuesday, so it's the following
It's Halloween
Friday,
month.
So it's next
Halloween
week.
month.
So
Yeah.
So when this is out, it's next week, next Friday. Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah.
So people are planning their last minute costumes this week, is what you're saying.
Yes, yeah. But a lot of people have shared this video. It's between a former satanic pastor and a podcaster just discussing, should Christians celebrate Halloween? And it's an interesting perspective.
The truth about Halloween. Halloween is the highest day on the satanic calendar. It is also the night of the year where there is the most human sacrifice on the whole planet. If we look at it in let's call it the popular culture aspect first, so many people think Halloween is about candy and it's about dress up, but they don't question the meaning behind it. In a neighborhood or an area, there's homes that celebrate Halloween. That whole perimeter becomes one big satanic ritual for that whole neighborhood.
You're saying my neighborhood right now is cooked? Like, what are you saying there?
Whether they're Christian or non-Christian, that have open doors, that moves or lives in a neighborhood like that will be affected. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so what do we do as Christians?
Firstly, we make sure that we are in righteous standing with God, that we do not have any hidden sin or open doors in our life, that we are in a righteous covenant with Him. So if we can get there, that is a very good place to start. And then it is about praying, like being in serious prayer, that people who celebrate Halloween, whether they're being a Satanist or an atheist or someone having fun, that whilst they're doing that they will actually have a true encounter with Christ.
Sparking some conversation.
All right.
I think you don't even want to know what I think. I think that
Tell us.
all these.
What do you think?
Okay, number one, as somebody who enjoys Halloween, it's number one. And I remember, I feel like I've even heard Wes Huff say this, where he talks about Halloween as, there was like a saint involved, and it was not demonic, and it really was like a traditional situation overseas. I forgot which country it's from, that it wasn't demonic. And then, you hear a guy like this tell you it is demonic, but like I'm still confused about like what demonic is, and like how this guy is trying to tell us that if you have Halloween in your neighborhood, your whole, like, why are we going back to satanic panic? Number one, this fear-driven theology to me is so absolutely insane. Like, we serve a God who does not abide by the devil's scare tactics and that's nothing for him, and I think that's the spirit that we carry in us. So to think that there are some mysterious force that no one even knows about, it's not like there's no scripture in it, there's this guy, it almost reminds me of like the story in the Bible where the guys were cutting themselves to get their God to work and nothing happened. That's the way I think about these people. They might think it's a sacrificial night, but it just means nothing in comparison to the glory of God. And so when, in my opinion, I think separating Halloween and doing the trunk Halloween, like, that is the worst thing we could do as believers. Like, we have an open invitation for people to come in our house, share the love of Jesus Christ, do anything. Like, my thought process behind this is like, hey, you get to interact with your community and have fun and talk to people, and don't be afraid of sharing and being a witness to the gospel, even when people might think it's a scary holiday. Like, I'm just so confused on how we have let fear dictate and fake scary moments dictate our religion and how we move as a believer. So when I hear Forrest Frank, I'm like, dude, you're just separating Christians, and like, you're just a youth group kid who's separating Christians from non-Christians, and you guys don't want interaction. Like, I love the quote by Tim Keller, like, if we separate heroes and villains in this world, we forget that we all have sin and we all have fallen short. So I don't know. My whole thing is like, I will never teach my kid to not to not enjoy the moment and be a light wherever you are, just like that guy who gives money to people and doesn't ask, like, just be a good person and be a light of Jesus Christ. It's not that serious, guys. Not that deep. That's my opinion.
That's
I think
Marty's
we're in the
opinion.
90s. Sorry, I think we're in the 90s. I think that there's one thing I'll say. As the resident conspiracy theory, superstitious, all of that, I'm all of it. I think there is something to be said about the origin of rituals and things of that nature. I think there's something to be said. I don't want to say that it doesn't matter, but at the same time, I also don't think that we should be bound in fear, like Marty said. I definitely agree with that, but I think we're back in the 90s or the 80s or wherever it's the more things change, the more they stay the same.
The satanic panic thing was in the 80s.
Was it 80s? Yeah. So we're in the 80s of, but here's the thing: the satanic panic, in my opinion, because like when you go back to the 80s, what were some of the craziest scary movies we had ever seen? Like, I mean, Jason, Freddy Krueger, The Exorcist, and all of that. There is a level of darkness that undergirds that. Like, Freddy Krueger is a demonic show. Jason is a demonic show, just by the fact of people's faces are being chopped off and people are being horrified, right? That's
Psycho.
That's evil.
I remember it was like
Psycho.
Evil. Yeah.
Right. So it's not a we shouldn't not react to those types of things, but we also need to react in the right way. And I think that is the key. It's not that Halloween doesn't matter. I don't think. It's not that all of the demonic stuff we're seeing on social media. And when I say demonic, sometimes we overlook on what demonic is. Like, there's certain stuff that you look at and you're like, oh, this is just a television show. And it's like, it's actually telling you that you should hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. And that's actually influenced by satanic stuff. And I think that, but we don't react in the right way. And I think that that's the problem. Our reactions to a lot of those things are not nuance. They're not prayer. They're just make it go away and let Jesus it away. And I think that is a problem, because I think, Marty, you got a point. It's a great time to have spiritual conversation. Halloween is probably one of the best times you should be having spiritual conversations with people, and not spiritual conversations.
We're so afraid of a conversation. That's what's interesting. Like, we don't even want to have a conversation. It's just like us versus them. And I guess that's the point of my little rant is it's never been us versus them. And as a kid who grew up, in and out of the church, like, I remember the stupidest thing I ever thought was having a separate event for Halloween inside the church with only the same people that I know inside. Like, it was just alienating anyone who did not agree with what we agree with. And I just always felt like, even as a child, I was like, I can't be with my friends because I got to go to a car show, basically, where they open trunks and I grab a candy out. Like,
the Holy Ghost Weenie Roast, Hallelujah Night, Harvest Party. Yeah, man.
Harvest Night, yeah.
There was a preacher that said, and I don't know which one it is. I want to say that it was Mike Todd. I think it's Mike Todd. He said, how can you save the world if you hate them?
Boom.
Like, he was like, how can you and I would say, how can you even share the gospel if you're afraid of the people you're sharing the gospel with, or you have this judgmental spirit, or you're like, you've dehumanized them in a way that you can't even relate to them on a human level to share the actual gospel with them.
I do want to say that for those, I feel like people have different convictions, and that's all valid. We're at different places in our spiritual lives and all that kind of things. And if a parent, listen, unequivocally, as a believer, there is light and darkness. The spiritual realm is real.
Amen.
There's spiritual warfare happening every day between angels and demons. And that is all real. As a Christian, that is all real. That's not hocus pocus. That is real. But like Derek, you guys were saying, like, God has not given us a spirit of fear, and God has one. And so, like, we don't have to be afraid of all this stuff. Now, if a family with young kids feels like celebrating Halloween desensitizes or trivializes what is actual spiritual darkness and stuff, and they don't want that environment for their kids, God bless them. Teach their own.
That's a great point.
Is fine.
Do your thing.
You know what I mean? Do your thing. I'm not going to criticize that. That is a valid conviction. I don't watch horror movies. I don't listen to explicit lyric music. Same reason. Garbage in, garbage out. I don't want to be desensitized to that stuff. And I want to keep my heart pure or sensitive. And so, like, I understand that mindset. I understand what you're saying, Marty, about separatism.
I probably just like
living in a Christian bubble is not the answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
vented it out without really thinking about it beforehand, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Separatism and like it, but I mean, I think we can all like navigate this for what's right for you and your family, and what, I think pray about it,
That's
and
right.
really ask the Lord what's right for you and your family and your neighborhood. And Marty sees it as an opportunity to bless his neighbors and form community and whatever, and not be a separatist. Cool. We all had that person in our neighborhood growing up who put the big old sign in the yard that the only ghost that lives here is the Holy Ghost, and they turned all their lights off. And it's like, well, that's a weirdo, and I don't like them now, So it's like, just give me a piece of candy, lady. I mean, so I get it.
I think at the end of the day, like I think whether it's Halloween or whatever tradition it is, I do think it is good to have your reason for why you are or not participating
know your why.
in it.
Know
That's
your
why I
why.
wanted to bring this. It was like, you might have a valid reason for celebrating Halloween. You might have a conviction to not. That's great. You have to stand your ground. Like, just because my parents did something doesn't mean I have to do it.
That's a fact.
Just think for yourselves, people. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Having said that, we're going to Halloween Horror Nights. Just kidding. We're not.
See, I did that one time. In high school. Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios is a big deal here. Big deal. And I went and I walked in, and the theme that year was very occultic, and they were literally reenacting the sacrifice of a virgin, and she was caged, and it was very dark, and it was very, very, very evil. And I never went back. I was just very like, this isn't entertainment to me. That is, the spiritual realm is real. These people don't feel it's real. They're just, it's a joke to them. That wasn't a joke to me. I didn't go back. But Cohen has friends in a Christian school that are going to Halloween Horror Nights. Fine. If that's what's right for their family and it's different every year, okay, fine. But it was just, that's my decision.
But I don't want to gloss over the fact that this man said that human sacrifices are happening, and the most ones that happen are today.
Right.
So, or not today, but
But
on
if someone's
Halloween.
getting killed, why aren't we finding bodies and stuff? Like, I've never even heard
So maybe
of,
he's talking about
right?
globally. Maybe
could be
he's not talking
Romania.
about,
It would be
it
globally,
could be
yeah.
someplace where globally where people wouldn't know, but like
There are statistics to
stuff
prove
isn't-
that more hospital visits happen on Halloween. Like, there are certain holidays, but Halloween is like a high time for hospital visits.
What was that?
this
what was
stuff
that
isn't happening
HBO
out of nowhere. Go ahead.
What was that HBO show? Matthew McConaughey, True Detective. Is that it? We're like,
Yeah.
Mm.
and like one of the seasons was like in Louisiana and in the woods. They came across like ritual stuff. Like
I think that was
remnant
Matthew
of-
McConaughey's season.
I think it was his season. It was like super dark, super cultic, and the whole thing was like, wait, this is actually happening. And like they got into it, and there was a subculture of the people that were actually kidnapping and harming people. I mean, obviously, we know the South has
Honestly,
a dark history
think-
with,
Yeah.
harming people. So
I don't think we see it a lot in the news, because you got to be real sure that you're calling out a satanic cult in the in media. I do think that's why there's a lot of documentaries about it, because it takes years to build up that evidence, that proof, find those sources to have someone willing to say, like, yeah, this was a satanic cult. Like, journalists, we got a lot of other stuff going on. We don't have time to write a quick story about a quick satanic cult sacrifice.
Looking this all to the same way we celebrate Christmas. Christmas has it means different things for different people.
Yeah.
To some people, it is
That's a
a
good point.
sacred holiday where we are honoring and remembering the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And it is a holy day for us. To somebody else, it's candy and Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And to somebody else, it's just
I'm dressed as a
materialism.
banana.
And that's what I'm
saying?
saying. So to some families,
Yeah.
it's just a fun costume day for their kids. And that's literally the extent of it. And they live in that safe little bubble. To some people, it is a very dark spiritual moment. To some people, it's like, I understand it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, know your why, how you feel about this, how you celebrate Christmas, all the things. I mean, there are Christian families who don't give presents on Christmas because they feel convicted about materialism, and that our focus shouldn't be on a getting, but it should be on honoring Christ. And while that seems extreme to me, I respect and understand that they know their why. You know what I'm saying? So do the same way about Halloween. That's Slices. A couple of those stories are on our
Got some
site.
deep
Go check it
combos
out,
there. Sorry, guys.
RockNice.com. All right. We'll got to be super fast and ask the cast. I'll ask like one or two questions right after this break. Okay, it's time for
Ask the cast anything you want, and we'll use our brains to answer.
All right, you guys sent in some questions for us, and I'll toss a few to the crew. Jameson Peters asked, if your 16-year-old self met you today, what would they think? Would they be disappointed?
Oh yeah.
Just go in there,
16-year-old Derek would be like, so it depends on, are you saying 16-year-old Derek met Derek in the future or just Derek
like
as
Derek
a stranger?
now.
Right.
Oh, he'll be like, dang, you did it, man. That's crazy. But
right. He'd be proud of you. Me, I'd be
proud.
disappointed in myself because I thought I was going to own some theme parks by now, or own the Orlando Magic, one of the two. And
but he would not like the fact that Derek has a potty mouth sometimes, and Derek partakes in alcohol.
See, I think
Derek partakes in milkshakes.
Milkshakes. He doesn't hang out with Miley Cyrus, is what we're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
My 16-year-old self would be like, I can't believe you're a Christian. Like, I think that would be a conversation like, wow, you believe in, like, how did this happen? How did you become a Christian who preaches about God? How did that, as someone who like never went to church, like, what? How does that happen?
Mm-hmm.
I think 6-year-old Emily would be really pleasantly surprised at current Emily. I think like I am the kind of person that I always really admired, but I didn't think like just life and stuff I wouldn't ever get to be. So like, I think she'd think it's really cool that I like live in Nashville and I have a job that I love. And
you're going to Rome this weekend.
Yeah,
I am going to Italy this week. Yeah, like I'm like traveling and I've traveled and like all the different things that I've gotten to do. Like I think,
and you have a job that's taking you to Rome this weekend.
Yes, I have a job taking me to Rome this weekend, which I'm very, very excited about. Like
so
that's
cool.
insane. Like that is something that I dreamed about, but I was like, that happens to other people, and so I think like 6-year-old Emily should be really cool to be like, wait. That's us?
Working for the coolest company, Christian media company ever. That's incredible.
Ever done. All right, Michael
really
Cooper. Michael Cooper. There's really two. Christianity Today and us. Yeah, we're cooler than them.
We're better than Angel Studios. I'm just kidding.
We are. That is true. Michael Cooper, 94. They don't advertise anymore, so yes, we're better than them. Michael Cooper, 94 asks, what's something cringy Christian that you secretly still love? That's what he asked. I gotta be honest. This isn't cringy. But I've been in this phase lately where I am listening to a ton of 90s gospel and 80s, 90s gospel. I am in this TikTok wormhole of Marvin Winans, Pastor Marvin Winans. I literally lay in bed at night watching Pastor Marvin Winans singing at the pulpit every
just crying.
I am just in this world of like early 90s.
That is funny you say that because me too, Cam, but it's like a different side of it. There was this I don't know if I want to say his name, but there was this older guy who used to sing worship in the 90s, and his name was Clint Brown. And Clint Brown,
I went to his church for 2 years. He was my pastor.
So I'm talking about that's Emily Brown.
But it's the same. It's the same. Like he's sitting down at the piano and it's like gospel.
My dad played with him a couple times, but I noticed, number one, he's one of the best songwriters ever, Christian songwriters, but I find myself singing his songs to my son to go to sleep. And they're very simple. And they're like, so I'm on the different side where in the like 90s worship, how simple and how like it's 4 bars and it just repeats over perfectly. Yeah. So Clint Brown, Orlando, he is one of the best songwriters. So I've been singing those songs. So on my playlist right now, my worship playlist, nothing is new. Everything is like 1993 and up, you know?
Yeah. There's something about that era, man.
Clint Brown, man, Orlando.
Cringey Christian. Anything?
Did you say Emily?
No, you go if you have something.
No, for me, I went to a concert last night. It was a jazz concert, but the guy was playing pretty much all like gospel-y jazz.
That's cool.
And the people were like, "Hey, yeah, woo!" And
it was like
just
Take Six, like back in the day, Take Six.
Yeah, kind of that vibe. You know, he updated a little bit, but I just was like, you know, those church functions that we went to that were so cringe actually were super fun when you think about it.
Yeah,
and I miss those. I miss the lock-ins.
I miss getting in trouble.
Like all that stuff.
So
that was good. It was a good time. You know, it was a good time. We don't realize how important it is. It feels like the world has moved on from that, but that's really important.
I miss special songs in the church service. Like during offering, there would always be a special song, you know, and like We don't have that anymore.
I miss bringing my offering to the front, you know?
Yeah, you know, bringing your offering to the front, like that whole thing, like, you know, God loves a
people would
cheerful
dance
giver, like
their way up to the front, you know, those.
I saw somebody
cartwheeling
one time.
Yeah, there's always like a Jamaican guy who's like with sandals on, but he's dressed up in
mime
like flowy
dancers,
linen
the
clothes.
flag wavers, the mime dancers, the flag wavers, that era.
I went to a Jesus Culture worship conference. This would have been maybe like 2015, and it was probably about 3,500 people. And Jesus Culture, charismatic, comes from like the Bethel world, and they had a rule. They announced at the beginning of this conference, they're like, "No shofars, no shofars. We are not going to be shofars." And in the back of the balcony, if you have a flag, if you have a worship flag, you have to be up there. And so they had to separate the flag wavers because they would be all out in front and just distracting everybody. So
shofar, boy, blow the shofar.
I grew up in a Baptist church. We were not having a flag enter the building.
No flags,
right? Like,
no shofars. Yeah.
Not at all how I grew up. But then in college, went to a more charismatic church. And I remember, actually, I think this was after college. There was a little old lady. She would stand at the back. She had like a medium-sized flag. It wasn't huge, but it was like noticeable, right? And like we had talked before, like she was like one of those sweet old ladies that has adopted everyone. And there was one Sunday I was really feeling it, and I went back there with her, and I was like, "Can I hold the flag?" And I like waved it. I think I did like 2 or 3 waves, and I was like, "I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but this was fun." Like,
I love that.
It was great. And then I just stood by her while she did her little flag waving. But I was like, okay.
In our meme roundup, I thought of you, Emily, in our meme roundup last week. There was that clip of, I guess, Guardians of the Galaxy or something. It was Chris Pratt with some superhero something. And it said the first time Baptists raised their hand in worship, and he kind of like lifted his hands ever so slightly, and like lightning bolts came out of his hands. He's like, "What was that?" You know, whatever. I was like, that was Emily. First time she went to her charismatic church.
There's this Christian comedian, Tim Hawkins. He has a bit where he would talk about like the different kind of worshipers in churches.
Yeah,
and
they carry the TV.
Yeah, the Baptists are here. Then you have like you can like depending on your denomination, like the raising of your hands, which is very accurate.
So funny.
All right, last one. Here we go. What is a hill you didn't expect to die on, but here you are, passionately defending it every time it comes up? Brian Andrews asked us this. What is a hill you always die on? I know mine. Mine is WALL-E, the movie WALL-E, the Pixar movie. It was actually prophetic, and that is the inevitable direction that society is going. WALL-E. We're all going to be consumers and not creators, and that's where AI is taking us. But anyway.
My stance, I actually do have it on a shirt. I'll wear it one of these days. Y'all can all see it. Hating pop music does not make you deep. Ooh, that is a hill that I'm absolutely dying on.
I like it.
I built my life around that one. So yeah. Any other hills?
My hill to die on always, and I've had this conversation with many people. Bar soap is far more superior than liquid soap. It's just it's like when you go to the fake cologne place and they sell you the oil versus going to like Macy's and getting the real thing. Like the oil is just so much more potent. That's how I feel about bar soap. And so I feel like when I use bar soap, I smell good when I walk out the shower versus using the rock soap. He has no hair. Like he's hairless. How am I just don't get it. So yeah, bar soap is just far superior.
See, okay. But with that though, like, okay, I'm thinking like in a bathroom at like a restaurant or something like that. I don't know who touched the bar before me.
Well, no. I'm talking about like taking a shower. I don't subscribe to using other people's soap bars. Like that you could use liquid for sure. But when it comes to bar soap, yeah. I'm talking like Lever 2000. Like, yeah, you're not going to, not that way.
Lever 2000.
For me, it's the Reuben is an elite sandwich.
It's very elite. Yeah, you got to dip it. I like dip a Reuben if you want.
People don't like the sauerkraut, but I think the sauerkraut is what makes it. It's elite. So,
and the rye bread. Yeah, I love it.
It's elite.
Yeah. I love going to like a Jewish deli and just throw it on cats.
Love it. All right, well, that'll do it for Ask the Cast. Make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every day where we are covering the intersection of faith, culture, everything in between. Check out our socials. There's a little bit longer episode. We've been doing like shorter ones because of the video. I enjoyed this. Was fun. This is great. On that note, we'll wrap it. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Marty.
We will see you next Tuesday. Have a great week, everyone, and have a safe trip to Rome, Emily.
Yes.